All right, so here are the Chapter 10 written practice problems. You are going to respond to each problem on your document, writing the steps down. You can follow along with me, or you could do them, obviously, and then compare your answers. If you have any questions, we will be reviewing them before the final exam. So problem 1 is about sweet potato muffins. Problem 2 is about caramelized onions. And problem 3 is about arugula. So let's get started. All right, so the first problem, the recipe requires 3½ cups of cubed sweet potatoes. 1 cup of cubed sweet potatoes weighs 5 ounces. Sweet potatoes have a yield percent of 75% and are purchased in 50-pound crates for $54. $54. So the question is asking you, how much will the 3½ cups of sweet potatoes cost? All right, so step 1, you are going to calculate the weight of 1 cup of sweet potatoes. So 1 cup of sweet potatoes, as the problem says, weighs 5 ounces. And the reason why you are putting it into weight is because that's how you purchase them. Okay, so you're going to calculate the 3½ pounds of cubed potatoes. And you'll take 3½ cups because that's how much you are going to use, and you're going to times it by 5 ounces per cup. So you are using a total of 17½ ounces of sweet potatoes in your recipe. All right, so now here we are converting the ounces to pounds. So step 2, you need to know your equivalent, that there are 60 ounces in a pound. So convert the weight to pounds, since, as I said, it's sold in pounds. So 17½ ounces divided by 16 ounces in a pound, and you get 1.09375 pounds. All right. Now you're going to determine the total weight needed, accounting for the yield percent. So you're going to take your answer from step 2, the 1.09375, and you're going to divide by your yield percent of 75% as a decimal. And so divide by 0.75, and you get 1.45833 is how many pounds of the sweet potatoes you're going to need for the recipe. But it's asking you how much is it going to cost. So step 4, you're going to calculate the cost based on the price of the 50-pound crate. So it's $54. The average purchase price for the crate is $54. You're going to divide by 50 pounds because there's 50 pounds of sweet potatoes in the crate. So it's $1.08 per pound. So you're going to calculate the cost of 3½ cups of sweet potatoes. So you take your amount, accounting for the yield percent, which is the 1.45833 pounds, and you're going to multiply it by 1.08 because that's how much it is for 1 pound, and you are going to the cost for the 3½ cups is $1.57. So to make your sweet potato muffins, you need 3½ cups of sweet potatoes. That will cost you approximately $1.57. All right, so hopefully that was painless. All right, let's look at the next one. So you are making caramelized onions. The recipe calls for 3 pounds and 2 ounces of sliced onions. Onions are purchased by the pound for 49 cents, and you have a yield percent of 89%. How much will the onions cost for the recipe? So the first thing you are going to do is convert the weight of the onions to pounds. So 3 pounds, 2 ounces. So you're going to do, because we did this in one of the beginning units, you do 3, and then you're going to put the 2/16 because you have the additional 2 ounces. So it's there are 16 ounces in a pound, which is why it's over 16. So 3 plus 2 divided by 16 pounds, which you are going to get 3.125 pounds total that you need. All you did there was put the 2 ounces into a decimal, so it was just in total how many pounds you need. It's easier for calculation. So step 2, you're going to determine the total weight needed, accounting for the yield percent. So to do that, you take the answer from step 1, the total weight of the onions, 3.125 pounds, and you're going to divide that by your yield percent, which as a decimal is 0.89, and you end up getting 3.52 pounds is now needed when you account for the yield percent. All right. So step 3, you're going to calculate the cost of a pound of onions. So the cost per pound of onions is 49 cents, which we just took from our word problem above. You're just carrying it down. And then step 4, you are going to calculate the cost of onions for the recipe. So you do the, from step 2, the 3.52 pounds is how much you're going to need, accounting for yield percent with the trim and the loss and whatnot, multiplied by 49 cents per pound, and you are going to end up at $1.72, which is rounded up. So the onions for this recipe will end up costing approximately $1.72. All right. So again, pause. If you have questions, save them for when I come back, but I think this is more cut and dry than some of our other units. All right, and your last one. You need 4.5 pounds of cleaned arugula. Arugula is a really yummy kind of lettuce. Arugula has a yield percent of 97% and is purchased in 5-pound boxes for $25. What is the cost of 4.5 pounds of cleaned arugula? So, bunch of information here like the others. So step 1, to get 4.5 pounds of cleaned arugula with 97% yield, you need to calculate the amount of uncleaned arugula you need to purchase first. So you are going to do, you're accounting for the yield percent first. So you take the 4.5 pounds that you need and you divide that by 0.97, which is the yield percent as a decimal, and you are going to need to purchase 4.6391 pounds of the arugula. All right, so that will start us off right off the bat. So now you're going to calculate how many boxes you need. So one box has 5 pounds in it. So you're going to take the answer with the yield percent, counting for yield percent from step 1, 4.6391 pounds total, and you're going to divide that by 5 pounds in a box. And you are going to need less than 1 box, so 0.9278, which would be rounded to 1 box. So we're good there. Then you'll move on to step 3. Since you can't purchase a fraction of a box, you'll need to run up to which is why we need to buy a whole box. So you're going to calculate the cost per 5-pound box is $25. So since you need at least 1 box, the cost is just going to be $25. So the cost of 4.5 pounds of cleaned arugula is $25. All right. So if you have any questions, please wait till we review for the final. You are going to have the opportunity, I will link all of these in for you, but you can do the Chapter 10 GIM kit if you have time. Thank you.